Power of Your Mind, Part 1. Why is the mind so important? Because it builds the world you live in. It decides whether you wake up grateful or already defeated. Every morning, the first battle you face is not outside your door, it's inside your head. What's the first thought that greets you when you open your eyes? Do you wake up already worried, rushing, feeling that something's missing? That feeling, the quiet whisper that says you're behind? That's where the struggle begins. Because the moment you start chasing what you think you lack, you forget that you already have everything you need to start. We spend our lives running for more, right? More money, more recognition, more validation. But we rarely stop to ask why we run. We chase because we believe we're incomplete. Let's go deeper. Where did that feeling begin, that you're not enough unless you achieve more? It didn't start yesterday. It started long ago and when you were a child. You came into this world whole. You were not born broken. Life itself, nature, God, whatever name you use, does not make mistakes. The moment you were born, you were complete. The world around you was complete. But then, the noise began. People told you what success means. They told you what failure looks like. They told you to chase things, grades, approval, status, wealth. They taught you that happiness is out there somewhere, not in here. And so you started running. Not because you wanted to, but because you were taught that standing still means losing. And the faster you ran, the more you forgot that peace was never behind you or ahead of you. It was always within you. The truth is simple. You were never missing anything. You were simply trained to forget how whole you already were. So today, let's pause. Let's step back from the noise and rethink. Ask yourself, how have the last 5 or 10 years truly felt? What patterns repeat in your life? You've probably had moments when you finally got what you wanted. The car, the phone, the house, the vacation. And it felt good. For a while. But then the feeling faded, didn't it? The new phone became old. The dream car became normal. The success became yesterday's story. That's not failure. That's the design of desire. The more you feed it, the hungrier it becomes. It's not that wanting is wrong. It's that believing you need more to be whole is the trap. Fulfillment doesn't come from getting. It comes from realizing. Realizing that peace was never missing, and it was just buried under layers of not enough. You can own the nicest house, drive the fastest car, hold the biggest title, and still wake up empty. Because if your peace depends on what you can lose, it was never real peace. Ask yourself, is your satisfaction built on conditions? Do you only feel complete when life gives you what you want? Because if your joy depends on things, people, or status, then it's never safe. You can lose them. And when you lose them, you'll lose yourself with them. Life will test this truth. You've seen it. We all have. The world can change overnight. We've lived through years when we couldn't go outside, couldn't travel, couldn't meet. Everything that used to define a normal life disappeared, and many people broke because their peace was built on things they couldn't control. But some people stayed strong, not because they had more, but because they had learned the secret. Don't base your happiness on what you can't control. The world can lock your doors, but it can't lock your mind. It can take your plans, but it can't take your purpose. It can limit your movement, but it can't stop your growth unless you let it. That's what freedom truly is. Not the absence of walls, but the presence of inner strength. The ability to say, even here, even now, I am whole. The power of life is not in what happens to you. It's in what happens within you. The power of your mind. Part 2. You've already been given the greatest gift anyone can ever receive, life itself. Existence is the miracle. Everything else is just detail, but somewhere along the way, we began outsourcing our happiness. We started handing out the keys to our peace, to money, to approval, to possessions, to people. We told ourselves, when I have this, then I'll be happy. But what happens when the thing you depend on disappears? You lose the car, the job, the person, the attention, and suddenly you feel like you've lost yourself. That's not living. That's being a prisoner of conditions. It's not the world that keeps us trapped. It's our own identification with what we own, with what we think defines us. You can fill a garage with cars, but if your identity lives in them, you're not driving them. They're driving you. There's nothing wrong with having things. There's nothing wrong with success. The problem begins when the things start having you. When your peace depends on their presence, that's when freedom ends. So ask yourself honestly, how much of your thinking has truly served you? And how much has kept you small? Look at the way you react when life doesn't go your way. Do you collapse? Do you panic? Or do you remind yourself, I've survived worse than this? Because every time you break and rebuild, your mind becomes stronger, like steel tempered in fire. No one can give you peace but you. No one can take your worth unless you hand it over. You can't control the weather, the economy, or the people, but you can always control the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you rise again. Fear and uncertainty. These are the two shadows every human meets. They live in the corners of our mind, whispering reasons to stop. But fear is only powerful when you feed it. It grows in silence, it grows in comfort, it grows in hesitation. Comfort zones, they sound nice, don't they? But think about it. The only reason it's comfortable is because you already know everything inside it. It's predictable, safe, and small. And life, real life, happens outside that circle. Out there where it's uncertain. Out there where it's uncomfortable. Out there where fear begins to whisper. And you choose to step anyway. The truth is, your growth lives in the unknown. 99% of existence is what you haven't seen yet. And the only way to discover it is to walk into the uncertainty. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's risky. But staying the same costs more than change ever will. So take one step. Just one. You don't have to leap into the dark. You just have to lean into it. Try one new thing tomorrow. Something that stretches you, something that wakes you up. Then the next day, take another step, and another, until courage becomes your new comfort. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move anyway. Every time you face something that scares you and choose to stand tall, you reprogram your mind. You rewrite your story. The goal isn't to live without fear. The goal is to live beyond it. That's how you reclaim power, not by controlling the world, but by mastering the space within you. The power of your mind, part 3. The mind and the body are not two separate worlds. They are mirrors. What you feed one reflects in the other. If you think small, your body follows small. If you think fear, your body freezes. If you think strength, your body starts to move. That's why the work of life is not just to train the body, it's to refine the mind. When you clean your thoughts, you clean your energy. When you care for your body, you honor the home of your spirit. You can't heal the outside while ignoring the inside. Putting cream on the skin won't help if your thoughts are poison. Drinking water won't matter if your mind is full of doubt. True health is unity. Your habits, your thoughts, your heart, all moving in one direction. So start paying attention to what you feed yourself. Not just food, but words, conversations, beliefs. Every time you say, I can't, your mind listens. Every time you say, I can, your body answers. You are the blacksmith of your own energy. Every thought is a strike of the hammer, shaping your destiny. The world won't change just because you want it to. It changes when you change. It bends when you stop running from yourself and face the truth. Everything you've been searching for was always inside you. You are not your failures. You are not your losses. You are not your fear. You are the awareness behind them. You are the mind that can choose again. So choose. Choose to wake up each day as a creator, not a victim. Choose to see problems as invitations to grow. Choose to look fear in the eye and take one more step. Because life is not happening to you. It's responding to you. And the more clarity you carry inside, the more peace you will see outside. Fear will come again, yes. Pain will visit again. But they're not enemies. They're reminders that you're still alive, still learning, still moving forward. Don't run from them. walk through them. Every step through fear expands your life. Every moment of honesty expands your soul, and when you start seeing yourself clearly, the world stops controlling you. You realize the mind was never your enemy. It was your greatest tool waiting to be mastered, so master it. Feed it with truth. Challenge it with action. Guide it with purpose. Then let it lead your body into movement, your heart into courage, your life into freedom. Your thoughts are the architects of your tomorrow. Guard them, nourish them, because the moment you take back the steering wheel of your mind, life begins to follow your command. You have one mind, one life, one chance to live awake. So don't waste it on fear. Don't waste it on regret. You've spent enough time doubting yourself, and now spend the rest proving that you were capable all along. Because this is it. Your time, your story, your transformation. Your mind is your kingdom. Protect it. Shape it. And from this moment on, rule it. The Old Monk. Lessons from a Lifetime. When I was young, I thought wisdom would come like lightning. Sudden, bright, impossible to ignore. But after many years, I learned it arrives like dawn. Slowly, quietly, and only for those who are awake enough to notice. I have spent most of my life in silence. Not because I had nothing to say, but because silence teaches what words never can. And now, when I finally speak, I speak only of what I've lived. People come to me and ask, "Master, what is the meaning of life?" And I tell them, life has no meaning until you give it one. You were not born with purpose written on your skin. You were born with breath, with awareness, with the ability to choose. And that is more than enough. When I was young, I chased. I chased praise. I chased love. I chased the idea of being special. And every time I caught something, it slipped through my hands like water. Then I realized nothing in this world is meant to be held forever. Everything you cling to is borrowed. The house, the name, the strength, even the body. The tighter you hold, the more it hurts when it's gone. So loosen your grip, my friend. Hold life gently, like a bird in your palm. Care for it, enjoy it, but never crush it with the weight of control. When people lose things, they say, life is unfair. But fairness is not the law of the world. Growth is. A seed must break before it sprouts. A heart must ache before it opens. A mind must unlearn before it understands. So don't curse your pain. Breathe through it. Pain is not punishment. It's the teacher you refuse to invite in. And it will visit you again and again until you finally listen. Once, many years ago, I lost everything I owned in a fire. My books, my robes, my home, all turned to ash. For days I sat among the ruins thinking I had nothing left. But when the ashes settled, I realized I had gained space. Space to begin again. Space to breathe. Space to see how little I truly needed. Since that day, I've never been poor again. Because poverty is not the absence of things, it's the absence of gratitude. The mind is a wild horse. If you let it run free, it will carry you into chaos. But if you learn to ride it, it will take you wherever you wish to go. So learn to sit with yourself. Do not be afraid of quiet. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. When I was younger, I thought strength meant fighting everything that stood in my way. Now I know true strength is the ability to stay calm while everything around you shakes. A warrior conquers others. A monk conquers himself. The first battle is not with the world, it's with your own mind. And once you win that, no one can take your peace away. People often ask, how do I find peace? And I tell them, stop looking for it. Peace is not hidden. It's simply drowned beneath your noise. You don't need to travel to a mountain to find yourself. You need to sit still where you are and listen. The voice you're searching for is already whispering. It's just waiting for you to stop talking over it. You must learn to trust your breath again. It's the only truth that never lies. Every inhale says, you are still alive. Every exhale says, let go. That is the rhythm of life itself. Receive, release, repeat. I have watched the sun rise thousands of times. each one different and yet each one the same. The sun doesn't argue with clouds, it doesn't beg the night to stay, it simply rises. And that, my friend, is how you must live. Without apology, without waiting for permission. You ask me how to stop fear, you cannot. Fear is the shadow of being alive. To live without fear is to live without feeling. The goal is not to kill the shadow, it's to walk with it. When fear comes, greet it. Say, I see you. Then take one step forward anyway. That's courage, not the absence of fear, but movement despite it. There was once a time I tried to change the world. I shouted, I fought, I demanded, but the world did not listen. Then I turned inward and changed myself, and suddenly the world began to shift. Understand this. The world is your reflection. When you calm your mind, the world looks calmer. When you carry peace, you see it everywhere. Change the lens and the view changes. This is the secret of wisdom. Nothing changes until you do. I am an old man now. I walk slower, speak softer, and smile more often. Not because life became easier, but because I stopped making it harder. When you stop fighting what is, peace arrives like an old friend who never left. You just forgot his name. You don't need to rush anymore. You've spent enough years running after meaning. Now it's time to be meaning. Wherever you are, stand still. Whatever you're doing, breathe. Whoever you are, be kind. That's all the wisdom I have to offer. Not theories, not philosophies, just this. Be present. Be grateful. Be alive. Because one day, when the final breath comes, you won't remember what you owned or who doubted you. You'll remember the moments when you were truly here, the sound of the wind, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter that shook your heart. Those are the treasures no thief can steal. So if you hear my voice, listen closely. Stop waiting to live. You are already living. Don't wait for tomorrow. Life is happening now. You don't need a perfect body, a new chance, or a younger age. You only need awareness, look here. The courage to open your eyes and see the beauty that was always here. Breathe deeply, walk slowly, forgive easily, love completely. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a wiser one. Because wisdom is not knowing more, it's needing less. And peace is not something you find, it's something you remember. So remember and live.